You know that feeling when you're trying to learn something really complex, like a brand new coding language, and you just hit a wall? Well, get ready, because the entire playbook for how we master new skills is being completely torn up and rewritten by AI. We're going to dive right into how that's happening.
I mean, that's a pretty wild statement, isn't it? I don't start learning basics first. Skip the basics? That sounds, well, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But believe it or not, this one idea is at the very heart of a huge shift in how we learn. And to really get our heads around it, we've got to take a quick look back.
Okay, so to really unpack this, we're going to break it down into 3 distinct eras. Think of it like a timeline. First, we've got the old way of doing things, everything up until about 2023. Then we hit the AI Copilot phase, that's 2024 to 2025. And finally, we get to the really mind-bending part, the learning in reverse paradigm that's shaping up for 2026. So let's start with what we all know.
All right, so until pretty recently, say up to 2023, the path to getting good at something was, well, it was a long and winding road. It was that traditional, slow and steady wins the race kind of approach.
You know the drill. It was this very methodical, step-by-step climb. First, you had to learn all the basics, right? Then, you'd build a few little toy projects to practice. After that, you'd move on to the intermediate stuff. And only then, after what felt like forever, could you finally start to tackle a real, meaningful problem. And hey, this process worked. I mean, people got skilled. But it had one huge requirement: a ton of patience. And not just from you, the learner. Think about your manager, your team, everyone kind of waiting for you to get up to speed. It wasn't a sprint, it was a total marathon.
But then, right around 2024, something new entered the scene: AI. And it wasn't here to replace anyone, not yet. It showed up as a co-pilot. And this is where things start to get really interesting.
All of a sudden, the game completely changes. You could absorb the basics in just a day or two, and then, get this, jump straight into working on real projects. If you got stuck, no big deal. Just ask your AI Copilot. Need someone to check your work? You could ask these large language models for code reviews and even get suggestions for how to improve it. That marathon we talked about, it just turned into a flat-out sprint.
So yeah, the entire dynamic shifted. Before 2023, the biggest challenge was just having the patience to stick with it. But now, in this new era, the key advantage was pure speed. You could learn and apply new stuff at a pace that was just unthinkable before. But this was only the beginning. The real revolution was still to come.
Okay, buckle up, because now we're jumping ahead to 2026. This is the big one, the paradigm shift. This is where we don't just speed up the old process, we throw the entire rulebook out the window and literally start learning in reverse.
So if we're not starting with the basics anymore, where on earth do we begin? Well, the answer is probably not what you're thinking.
You start with the finished product, or at least a version of it. You use what's called an AI agent, which is pretty much an AI that can understand what you want and then write and run the code to build it for you. With just a few simple prompts, it generates a working proof of concept. You're not starting with theory from a textbook, you're starting with a tangible, working solution.
And this is what changes absolutely everything. You can think of this AI agent as your own personal mentor. It's like having an incredibly experienced senior developer on your team, one who has infinite patience and is available 24/7 to explain every single line of code it just wrote for you.
This is just such a game changer. Why? Because you can ask it anything. I mean it. The most basic, stupid questions you'd be embarrassed to ask a human coworker, the agent doesn't care. It won't judge you. It creates this perfectly safe space to be curious and to learn incredibly quickly and deeply.
So what's really fascinating is that this new way of learning completely redefines your relationship with the AI. You might start out as the student, but you very quickly evolve into a partner.
So let's just quickly recap the old way, pre-2026. You'd start with theory, build some small stuff, and then slowly work your way up to the big, real problem.
But the new way, it flips that completely on its head. You start with the solution that the AI generates for you, then you learn by exploring it, taking it apart and asking questions. And from there, you collaborate with the AI to refine it and make it even better.
And I think this quote just sums it up perfectly. At the beginning, it's like you're the new grad and the AI agent is your mentor. But as you learn from the code it built, you get promoted. And suddenly, you and the agent have become co-workers, partners working on the problem together. So this leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it?
If AI is becoming our teacher, our mentor, and our coworker, what's our new role in all of this? What are the uniquely human skills that we need to be focusing on now? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.